Welcome to Rolling Solo, where I follow the journey of Francesca, a tiefling bard, as I learn to play D&D one roll at a time. We're following Francesca di Valcere, who walked away from her noble family to live by her own rules. She dazzles on stage, but in the shadows she schemes, using her wit, magic and charm to survive. Last time, Francesca slipped to the south pier of Droslav's Gate and uncovered the truth. The Black Glove Syndicate was unloading chained prisoners under the watch of a red-cloaked captain. With a single whispered message, she rallied a tall, defiant prisoner, and then, in the strike of a rapier, she silently cut down a guard. But the spark caught. The prisoners rose, guards scrambled, and the captain's eyes turned toward her. Now, as steel flashes and chains fly, Francesca stands at the heart of battle. One player, one bard, endless adventure. This is Rolling Solo. Episode 3. The Spark at South Pier. The docks are a storm of iron and cries. Prisoners fight with their chains, the Black Glove enforcers surge under their captain's orders, and Francesca stands with rapier bared, her strike having lit the revolt. Across the chaos, the red-cloaked captain raises his rune-etched blade, eyes burning with recognition as they lock on to yours. The prisoner's leader shouts, "Strike with us, bard! Now or never!" Steel clashes, torches flare. You have seconds before the captain's soldiers crash into your line. It's Francesca's turn. She can charge the enforcers nearest to her, engage in melee combat, cast a spell to tilt the fight, perhaps dissonant whispers or vicious mockery, inspire the prisoners with bardic inspiration boosting their courage, or target the captain directly, bold, dangerous, but decisive. What does Francesca do as the battle properly begins? I've talked about this before. She's not really an impulsive character, Francesca, so I think it's unlikely that she would choose the target the captain directly, not at this point. They recognise that she's played a role in this, but they don't actually recognise her as a person because she has got that double identity where she's known for being a bard. She's got her, face half covered. They can't actually see who she is beneath that. And risking kind of close combats with someone like a captain would be putting that identity at risk. So I'm going to rule that one out early doors. I'm thinking I might just charge the enforcers nearest for a melee combat because I also feel like the blood is pumping. At the end of the last episode, she had made a couple of rash decisions, but not ridiculously rash, but more the fact that she kind of like, right, let's just do this thing. So yeah, I'm just going to go with that. That's what feels natural to me. So let's type that in and see where we go. Boots thunder towards you. The two nearest enforcers level cudgels, grinning with overconfidence. Just another meddler to crack. But you, Francesca di Valcere, move first. You spring forward, rapier flashing in the half-light. Make an attack roll with your rapier. D20 plus 5 to hit. Roll and tell me the result. Let's see how this first open strike of battle lands. Okay, so we know I had some excellent beyond luck. I don't know what was up last week, but I did some really lucky rolls. Since then, the kind of dice goblin has taken over my body and I've bought loads more dice, ridiculously loads more. I clearly shouldn't be trusted with money, but what I'm trying to lead up to saying there is I'm playing with a new dice set today. I'm going to show a picture because I'm literally in love with them, which is a bit risky considering the other dice that I had, my first ones that I'd ever bought, were doing really well for me last week, but the week before that they were doing terribly, so I'm just going to go with my instincts, which is to use my new pretty dice. So, without any more rambling away, let's actually roll this thing. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's rubbish. It's a 2. I got the plus 5, but not great. I can't lie to you. So let's type it in and see just how bad this is going to be. Your rapier darts toward the enforcer's chest, but he's quicker than he looks. He jerks his cudgel up just in time, the clang of wood against steel echoing across the pier. He snarls in your face. "Not tonight, devil girl!" The second enforcer sees the opening and starts to circle wide, trying to hem you in. Prisoners crash against guards behind them, the tall leader's chain snapping through the air like a whip. And across the pier, the red-cloaked captain advances a step closer, rune-etched blade catching the torchlight. The battle is fully joined, and you're toe-to-toe with two enforcers, their cudgels raised for brutal counter-strikes. Do you want to press the attack, stay aggressive, have another strike? Use a spell, deploy bardic inspiration, or disengage and retreat? What's your next move? Yeah, I'm not disengaging at this point. I'm enjoying having this battle going on. So, sorry, Francesca, but you're not going anywhere. Again, I feel like I can get a better roll next, so she's going to carry on with this melee attack. There's no point pausing to do spells when the enforcers are this close to her. That would just be opening herself up to taking some hits. So let's not do that. Let's press the attack. Francesca refuses to yield ground. Let's see if steel and style can turn the tide. You pivot, golden eyes flashing, and lunge again at the first enforcer. He's still reeling from blocking your last strike, cudgel raised too high. This is your chance to pierce through. Make another rapier attack roll, d20 plus 5 to hit. Okay, let's give this a go. Come on, do better this time. That's better. I'll take that one. That's a 13, so it's the 13 plus the 5. Let's see. Hopefully that will be better. You faint low, then drive your rapier up beneath his guard. Steel bites deep into his side. He gasps, staggers back, and collapses against the pier railing. The cudgel clatters from his hand before he crumples to the planks. Roll 1d8 plus 3 to see what the damage is. Okay, let's get that ready. Give it a rub for luck. Yeah, that is really rubbish. That is a 1. Critical 1. Let's put it in. Not good. Not good. I mean, I get plus 3, but yeah, can't say it's going to do much damage. Your rapier slices across the enforcer's side, tearing through leather and drawing a hot line of blood. He grunts in pain, staggering, but refuses to fall. He takes 4 piercing damage, but fury is burning through his grimace. He's badly hurt, one hand pressed to his ribs, but his cudgel hand still swings wide. The second enforcer uses the moment to close in, trying to pin you between them. Behind you, prisoners surge, chains whipping. The tall leader bellows another command, driving back a guard. But the red-cloaked captain advances steadily, his rune-etched blade humming faintly as he gets closer. The battlefield hangs on a knife's edge. One enforcer, bloodied and weak, a second, fresh and moving in. The captain is coming closer with lethal intent. Does Francesca want to finish the wounded enforcer, take him out cleanly before turning to the second? Turn on the fresh, strike before he can box you in? Cast a spell to try and tilt the fight, or prepare for the captain? What's Francesca's next move? Well, great question. Francesca's next move is she's going to finish off the wounded enforcer. As the captain gets closer, the odds are very much not becoming in her favour, so let's at least take one person out, or, try to take someone out so that it's going to be more like 2 against 1 rather than 3 against 1, and if we can take out the other person before the captain gets here, even better. But yeah, let's try and even those odds out a little bit. The wounded enforcer stumbles back, clutching his side, but still baring his teeth. His partner moves to cover him, but you're faster. With a sharp twist, you step past the fresh guard's swing and lunge at the bloodied one. Roll your d20. Let's see if Francesca ends this one before the captain closes the gap. Okay, let's get that d20 ready. Roll in. Not terrible. 7, so with the plus 3 for the rapier finesse. Basically, yes, let's have a little bit of education in this episode. Your characters, it's the same on the game, on Baldur's Gate 3. Your characters have proficiency in certain weapons and not in others. So because Francesca is proficient with rapiers, she gets like a bonus, or sometimes you roll with advantage. It depends on factors and things, but yeah, I get that +3 because of that. I realise now that I've been reading that wrong. It's +5. Yes, the +3 comes in with the damage, but yeah, so I rolled a 7 plus the 5. See, I'm trying to educate people, but I'm educating myself as well. This is a journey, guys. So yeah, let's put that in and let's move on. Your rapier thrust slips past his faltering guard. The steel punches through his shoulder. He screams, staggers, and drops to one knee. Roll your d8 +3 for damage. If it's high enough, he'll collapse for good. If not, he's still up, clinging on desperately. While this is happening, the fresh enforcer is snarling, stepping in hard, cudgel already arcing towards your head, and beyond them, the red-cloaked captain is now only a few strides away, rune blade glowing like an ember in the dark. Roll your damage to see if you deal with this wounded enforcer before the hammer falls. Yes, let's do this because I need to know if I'm dealing with 3 against 1 or 2 against 1. 12. Okay, so I know that was because I rolled the d20 instead of the d8. No, I was happy with that roll. Okay, so, sorry, wrong. Let's do that. Let's do that one again. As I said, it's a journey. I'm learning as I go. And there's a lot of dice, okay. So, d8 is that one. No, that's the d... something. d9. 8. Yes, there we go. Got it. Got it. Okay, let's do that one again. I like it to add a little bit extra drama. And I don't want you to think I'm too competent in anything, because I'm really not. So, 7! Yes! It was worth all the fumbling around then. So that's 7 plus the 3. So I'm going to be taking out that last guy. So I just then have to deal with the full health enforcer and the captain. Like I said, just have to deal with. This probably is still going to go badly, but I've put that in and let's see what happens. Your rapier drives clean through his chest. His eyes widen, the cudgel slipping from numbed fingers as he collapses to the pier. But there's no pause. The fresh enforcer steps into the gap with a snarl, cudgel swinging down at your head. And behind him, the red-cloaked captain closes in, his rune-etched sword now glowing faintly crimson. The night crackles with violence. Francesca has cut one enemy down, but the battle's true danger is just a few steps away. The fresh enforcer steps into the gap, with his partner lying dead at your feet, his fury burns hotter than fear. The arc of his cudgel swings down brutally. It cracks against your shoulder, pain flares hot. Staggering, you fall back a step. Francesca takes 7 damage, your health down to 16. The crowd roars with chaos, prisoners battering guards with chains, the tall leader rallying them with a whip crack of steel, but all of it fades as the red-cloaked captain finally steps into the circle of firelight. His voice is calm, cutting through the battle like steel. The Valcere tiefling. You should have stayed forgotten. The rune-etched sword hums in his grip. His eyes fix on you with recognition. Not just as another meddler, but as Francesca di Valcere. The fight is narrowing, one enforcer before you and the captain advancing. What's your move? The enforcer looms in front of you, cudgel slick with your blood. He snarls, swinging again, but you're faster now. Make a rapier attack roll. Let's see if Francesca clears her path to the red-cloaked captain. Okay, let's get that d20. I'm going to pick the right dice this time. Yep, that is definitely the d20. Okay, let's give it a roll. 14. Yeah, not bad at all. So it's 14 plus the 5. So let's see what that does. Maybe I can take him out in one go. You twist aside from his cudgel, your rapier flashing up in a clean thrust. It punches through his ribs. His breath catches and he collapses onto the planks, lifeless. Another body falls. The prisoners cheer raggedly, the tall leader shouting for them to press the advantage. But the world seems to narrow as the red-cloaked captain finally steps into striking distance. His rune-etched blade hums, crimson light licking along its edge. His eyes burn with recognition and hatred. House Valcere always leaves debts unpaid. Tonight, I'll collect. The prisoners are locked in their own struggle. This duel is yours alone. The battle with the captain begins. Do you want Francesca to meet him head on, open with a spell, use bardic inspiration, or probe for information, perhaps taunt or trick him into revealing more before your fight truly begins? So I actually feel quite strongly about this one. I think that the fact that he knows her identity, he knows things about her family, that he's made that link between her in her disguise, where she's not the bard persona, but she's also not the persona she left behind long ago with her family, that he's made that connection and that he knows who she is. She would just throw caution out the window and think that he needs to be dealt with right now. He needs to die, really. He needs to be stopped from spreading that further. No one else can know. She's already messed up a couple of times that night. She's got the attention of the guy at the bar. She's lost the trust of the orphan children. She can't risk anything else going wrong with her. So I think the blood is pumping and she's just saying, no, let's deal with this man right now. So let's see where that takes us. Okay, so it wants me to do a d20 roll to see what happens with the attack, and then it wants me straight away to do the d8 roll to see that if that attack lands, what damage I'm dealing with, so that we can get this story moving. So I'm going to roll the d20. Okay, nice, that's a 15. So when you add the 5, that's going to give me a dirty 20. So a natural 20 is when you roll a 20. Okay, on the actual d20 dice, where when you make a 20, that's, what did I just call it? Whatever, the word's gone out of my head already, but it's that. Anyway, let's roll the d8s. Nice, okay, yeah, so that was a 5, which if I add the 3 to it, that gives me an 8, which is not bad for damage, so let's see what that means in real money. Your rapier meets the captain's rune-etched blade in a shower of sparks. His strength is brutal, but you twist, sliding the point past his guard and driving it deep into his side. He grunts, teeth bared, crimson light from the blade flaring as if in response to his pain. Instead of faltering, he shoves you back with a surge of force, planting his feet on the blood-slick planks. The Valcere spark still burns, but it will gutter out tonight. His sword hums with a dangerous resonance, crimson light crawling up the runes as he raises it high for a vicious counter-strike. Francesca has struck the first true blow. The captain is wounded, but far from beaten. What do you want her next move to be? Stay on the offensive? Turn to spells? Probe for secrets mid-fight? What approach does she take? So I feel at this point she's going to take stock a little bit and not rush into a melee battle, because she's not, her strength doesn't lie in that. She's a bard. She's not a barbarian class or a fighter class or anything. So she's going to turn to the other side that she can take, which is spells at this point. So my two kind of main attack spells I've got in my arsenal are Dissonant Whispers and Vicious Mockery. As usual, I can't remember what exactly those entail, so I have to have a look at my paperwork. Okay, so I'm thinking just on a glance that Dissonant Whispers is going to be my best bet. So one creature of your choice that you can see within range hears a discordant melody in its mind. The target makes a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 3d6 psychic damage. Ooh, I like that. And must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far away from you as it can, using the safest route. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage only. See, I like that, because not only do you get the 3d6 damage, which I think, if I'm right, let me have a look. Yeah, the Vicious Mockery is only 1d6, unless I use a higher level spell slot, but that's just getting too confusing for my mind. So let's stick with the psychic damage from the Dissonant Whispers. So yeah, it's a 3d6, which is great, and I like that even if he makes a successful wisdom save, he would still take half damage. So yeah, that's the way this is going to roll. Get it? Get the way it's going to roll? No, bad joke, sorry. Right. Also, because it's 3d6s, I get to break out some of my other dice that I bought. So let's get them out of the pouch. And I need 3. Let's find some pretty ones. We're going to go for a blue, purpley, green theme. My current new set that I'm playing the whole game with, by the way, is a red, blue, green colour, which I'm going to post later. Sorry, I did warn people in the introduction episode, I ramble a lot. I try to cut out as much as possible, but at the end of the day, it's my podcast, so, listen or leave, up to you. I'm going to actually do the rolling now. Right, so I'm going to do a spell. I'm going to do the 3d6 for the damage. Okay, that's a 3, and a 2. So let's put in what I'm going to do and see what actually happens. You lock eyes with the captain as his rune blade hums. Your voice coils like a serpent, words dripping into his mind like poison-laced honey. Your blade hums because it's hungry, but it knows it won't be your enemy's soul it drinks tonight. It will be yours. The captain stiffens, face contorting as your whispered spell bores into him. Captain's wisdom saving throw. 9. Fail. Captain staggers as your words burrow into his mind, crimson light flaring wild along the runes of his blade. He snarls, clutching his head, and then, against his will, his boots scrape back across the planks, retreating from you with every ounce of his strength turned to flight. Prisoners seize the moment, surging forward with renewed fury. Enforcers falter, the line beginning to break. The tall prisoner shouts, "She's turned him! Drive them back!" The red-cloaked captain retreats to the edge of the pier, crimson blade humming erratically, his face twisted in pain. He splits blood and glares at you, his voice ragged but sharp enough to cut through the din. "You don't know what they've kept from you, Valcere!" Then, with a final snarl, he turns, leaping onto the gangplank of the Widow's Smile, retreating toward the ship. Francesca stands bloodied but unbowed, victorious over the enforcers, her words driving the captain back. Yet his escape and those final words leave more questions than answers. And with them echoing in her mind, Francesca realises she may not know her family's sins as well as she thought. In a city of whispers, even the quietest footsteps can echo loudest, especially when you're rolling solo.